Ayan, no, Duterte yung sinisigaw.
I mean, wala namang patas dito sa Pilipinas. We already know how the legal system works, and I think
Prangka ka. Prangka ka agad. Sa tingin mo ba, patas yun? Wala namang patas dito sa Pilipinas. Totoo eh.
I have put everybody on notice that this is not a personal grievance on my part. So there is no reconciliation that is necessary.
Wait. Wala raw personal grievance. Okay, heto na nga, no? Pag-usapan natin itong, alam naman nating fake news ito. Pero ewan ko na lang dito sa Inquirer, no? Na ang sabi dito sa balita nila ay nag-survey raw sila. Most Filipinos raw ay gustong ma-held accountable dito si Tatay Digong sa mga namamatay na nalilink dito sa war on drugs. Ayan. Kaya naniniwala ba kayo na dyan? Ang dami na kasing hindi naniniwala sa kanila eh. Mamaya pag-usapan natin yan, okay? Ito, pangalawa nating pag-usapan ay itong si Auntie Claire Castro na sinabi niya si Bongbong Marcos raw ay hindi takot pumunta sa Davao. Sino pa namang nagsasabi? Auntie Claire, sino bang nagsasabi na tatakutin siya kapag pumunta siya doon sa Davao? Di ba? Sablay ka doon. Mamaya, pag-usapan rin natin yan ha, si Auntie Claire. Alam naman sa Auntie Claire, hindi kumpleto ang araw natin kapag hindi tayo makabanat ni Auntie Claire. At ito, pag-usapan rin natin itong si Bongbong Marcos. Noong dumating siya sa Davao, meron pong naka-video sa kanya, no? Si Bongbong Marcos yung dumating, pero ang isinisigaw ng taong bayan, Duterte. Mamaya ipapakita ko yan sa inyo. Nakakahiya. Ay nako. At last but not the least po ay pakikinggan po natin itong kinakaharap ngayon ni Representative Kiko Barzaga, itong idol natin na congressman dyan sa House of Representatives na walang preno, hindi natatakot, talagang kinokontra ang mga korap sa gobyerno at talagang walang tigil na pag-i-expose dito sa mga kabalastugan ng ginagawa ng House of Representatives. At pati itong si BBM ay hindi siya takot. Ay pakinggan natin siya sa kanyang press media ambush interview, no? Patungkol sa kanyang ethics complaint. Ayan, siya na naman ang target ngayon ng kalaban ng kalaban ng mga yung mga kumakampi sa mga mga buhaya. Siya yung binabanatan ngayon. Kasi naprapraning sila dito sa mga kagaya ni Kiko Barzaga eh. Kaya si Kiko Barzaga may ethics complaint at yan po ang pakikinggan natin mamaya. Okay? Pero guys, bago natin ito pag-uusapan, help me po muna na i-like at saka i-share itong video na ito para guys kakalat ito sa taong bayan. Okay? Sabay-sabay muna tayong mag-like and share sa Donmar TV. Itong video na ito, like and share. 1, 2, 3, go! Okay, naka-like and share na ba lahat? And also guys, sa mga bago pa lang dito sa aking channel, mag-subscribe na po kayo para lagi kayong updated sa ating mga balita. And at the same time, yung mga cellphone ninyo, ma-notify yan kung meron tayong breaking news, bagong uploads, o kung nagla-live ang ating channel. Ma-notify kayo lahat dyan. Kaya mahalaga po na mag-subscribe tayo sa Donmar TV. 1, 2, 3, go! Ayan, nakasubscribe na ba lahat? Ito ang una nating pag-usapan. Ito ngang kay Tatay Digong, no? Na survey raw ito. Ako, duda na ako rito. Nung nabasa ko, Inquirer na naman ang nagbabalita. Kaduda-duda itong grupong ito eh. Kasi binalita nila na ito, most Filipinos recently surveyed by the Social Weather Station or the SWS survey na gusto na si former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte will be held accountable for the deaths linked to the drug war during his administration. Ayan. Ang tanong dito, totoo ba ito o hindi? Ako, depende na yan sa inyo ha. Siyempre, yung mga kakamping at yung mga loyalista, maniniwala talaga dyan. Pero kung yung mga nakikita nyo yung birthday ni Tatay Digong, kung gaano kamahal ng itong taong ito, no? Ng taong bayan, buong mundo pa nga ang nagse-celebrate sa birthday ni Tatay Digong, hindi talaga maniniwala dito. 'Di ba? Ito, palabas na naman nila ito ng mga kalaban ng mga Duterte para parang i-brainwash nila na masamang tao talaga si Duterte kasi lumalabas sa survey na mas marami na ang gustong managot itong si Duterte sa kanyang war on drugs na mga namamatay. O, ganun. Di ba? O, ganun na naman. Inquirer pa. Kilala natin ang Inquirer. Wala na yung magandang idinidulot. Basta Duterte na ang ibinalita. Bad news talaga yan. Pabana talaga yan ni Duterte. Wala. Ni minsan, wala akong nakitang magandang ginawa ni Duterte na binalita ng mga Inquirer. Lahat masama talaga. Ewan ko na lang bakit ganyan sila. Masama lahat yung mga binabalita pero yung mga kabutihang ginawa ni Duterte, nga, wala. Walang nagbalita sa Inquirer. So, ako dito sa kahit saang anggulo sablay, no? Si Duterte po, nang nandyan sa ICC, alam na po natin na ang ICC ay nagagamit po sa politika. Ika nga, sabi nila, wine-weaponize na itong mga ICC. Kasi hindi nila kaya na makipaglaban ni former President Duterte dito sa Pilipinas. Kasi alam nila, kapag magdebate na sila, batas yung pagbabatayan dito sa bansang ito, no? At kung batas lang ang ating tatanungin, wala. Wala silang makukuha dito kay Tatay Digong. Sabi pa dito, SWS, most Filipinos want Duterte held accountable for the drug war deaths. Talaga? Sana totoo, no? Pero, kung iisipin mo, no, paano kaya, let us say, given na totoo itong survey na ito. Ano kaya yung question na inilabas nila sa survey? Yan ang malaking tanong. Di ba? Kasi sometimes ikaw mag-a-answer ka ng question ikaw mag-follow ka lang sa question. Mapa-oo, mapa-no ka sa question na yan. Tapos, hindi mo na alam, ang target pala, ganyan na. Di ba? Sino ba namang hindi gusto na ma-held accountable? Yes, ma-held accountable. Pero kung laliman mo yung pag-iisip mo na si Duterte yung may kasalanan sa mga namamatay doon sa war on drugs, hindi. Ang layo nun. Sino ba namang tanga at gago na presidente na kagaya ni Duterte, no? Na ewan ko na lang kay Bongbong Marcos. Kasi bangag yun di ba? Pero dito, kilala namin ang mga Duterte. Hindi po ganyan ang mga Duterte, no? Ginawa niya yung war on drugs para sa safety ng taong bayan. Di ba? Kung meron mang nagugurgur at that time, dahil lumalaban, wala na. Hindi yan kasalanan ni Duterte. Ika nga sabi ni Tatay Digong, ikaw bilang tao, ikaw ang gumagawa sa buhay mo. Ikaw ang nagdo-drawing sa buhay mo. Kung gusto mo ng buhay na malagim, ayan, yan ang mangyayari sa'yo, di ba? Winawarning nga na kayo ni Tatay Digong Huwag mag-indulge sa droga, kasi wala kayong patutungo, wala kayong future dyan. Alam nila, itong mga nagugurgol, alam nila na ganyan po ang mangyayari sa kanila kapag papasok sila dyan sa droga na yan. Wala, ininsist lang yung sarili nila. Ayan tuloy, gur. Di ba? Kasi syempre, ang mga kapulisan, poprotektahan rin natin yan kasi kawawa yung mga pulis. Di ba? If their life is in danger, wala silang ibang choice. They have no other options but unahan ka na. Di ba? So, wala. Inquirer, wag kayong magpalabas ng ganito. Hindi pa rin kayo papaniwalaan ng taong bayan. Kaming mga vloggers, susuplakin namin kayo, no? Ito pa, pag-usapan natin itong si Auntie Claire Castro. Ayan. Castro, ano na nangyari sa iyo, ha? Kasi raw, pinapalabas nitong si Auntie Claire Castro na hindi raw natatakot ang si Bongbong Marcos pumuntang Davao. Wala namang nananakot sa kanya. Di ba? Bakit naman siya namin tatakutin? Yeah? Ito yung balita. Hindi po matatakot ang Pangulo. Iginiit ni Presidential Communications Undersecretary Claire Castro na hindi nangangamba si Pangulong Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. na magtungo sa Davao upang tulungan ang mga biktima ng mga lindol. Sa rehiyon nitong nakaraang linggo sa kabila ng kanyang hindi maayos na ugnayan sa mga Duterte. Di syempre, ang mga taga Davao, loyal Duterte yan kasi alam nila kung gaano kabuting tao itong si Duterte tapos pinakulong ninyo. Di ba? Syempre may galit. Pero kahit galit yung mga taga Davao naman, hindi naman yan ganyan ka walang hiya na may gagawin silang masama. Mabuting tao naman yung mga taga Davao. Huwag gawing pamumulitika ito para takutin ang presidente para pumunta ng Davao. Ayon kay Auntie Claire, huwag raw takutin. Wala namang nagtakot sa kanya. Sino bang nagtakot sa kanya? Sabi ko nga, baka talaga, Auntie Claire, yung amo mong bangag dyan, napapraning na. Ha? Kung ano-anong tinatakot sa kanya. Wala namang nagtatakot sa kanya. Hindi po matatakot ang ating presidente na pumunta sa anumang rehiyon ng bansa natin dahil siya po ang presidente at siya po ay tutulong sa lahat ng nangangailangan pagdidiin ni Castro. Ayan. Ang mga Davaoenos po ay mababait na mga kababayan. Yan ang sabi ni Castro. Totoo naman eh. Sinabi mo pa, di ba? Alam mo, Castro, siguro yung matatakot is the wrong word, no? Hindi siguro takot. Ang right word siguro dyan, si Bongbong po Marcos ay hindi po mahihiya. Hindi takot, mahihiya. Yung matatakot, ang layo doon. Walang mga masamang tao doon sa Davao. Proven and tested na yan. Walang gustong maggurgur-gurguran dyan ng mga kung ano-ano. Ang sabihin mo, mahihiya. Kasi kapag pumunta si Bongbong Marcos dyan, mapahiya lang siya. Malaki ang chance na mapahiya siya. Tingnan nyo, ha? Si Bongbong Marcos ang dumating sa Davao, ang isinisigaw, Duterte. Kaya mapahiya siya. Ha? Kasi, pumunta siya sa Davao. Pero, tapos na nakapagtulong ang Cebu, tapos na nakapagtulong ang Vice Presidente, saka siya dumating yung Presidente. Hindi napahiya si Bongbong Marcos. May ganyan bang leader? Di ba? Alam namin, malaki rin tulong yung national, pero i-accept nyo na mahina talaga ang takbo ni Bongbong Marcos. Mahina gumalaw. Nakatulong na yung lahat, Cebu at yung aming Vice President. Pero siya, kahapon lang dumating. Kawawa. Kaya, ang nangyari, pagdating doon ni Bongbong Marcos, ito ipapakita ko sa inyo ha. Pagdating doon ni Bongbong Marcos, ang isinisigaw ng taong bayan, Duterte. Hindi nyo pwedeng ano tawag doon? Hindi nyo pwedeng mabiblame ang taong bayan kasi po sa ginagawa rin ni Bongbong Marcos. Ito yung mga nangyayari ha. Video na pagdating ni Bongbong Marcos pero Duterte yung sinisigaw. Ito ha. Panoorin nyo. Play. Ayan o. Dumating si Bongbong Marcos dyan ha. Naka-aeroplano ba yan? O naka-helicopter pala o.
Duterte!
Ayan o. Duterte yung sinisigaw. Kawawa.
Duterte! Ayun siya. Ayun. Imbes na ka ang pagkamamalasaan. Una ka beres na malaman. Muli man lang yan. Lasa.
Nakaintay yung mga tao dyan no. Lahat yan, maka Duterte yan. Nire-respeto lang yung si Bongbong Marcos. Di siyempre, may mga kabataan dyan, sa Bisaya pa, bugal-bugalan. Yan, Duterte yung sinisigaw. Yan, dumating yung helicopter, diba? So, yan. This is one of an example na baka naman, Bongbong Marcos, if makita mo itong video na ito, di ka pa makarealize niyan? Na isinusuka ka na ng taong bayan? Hanggang ngayon nga, no? Sa totoo lang, hanggang ngayon, wala silang, isang pambato sa 2028 bilang presidente. Kasi si Martin Romualdez, kung yun ang pambato nila, ewan ko na lang. Wala na. Wala silang pambato. Ang pag-asa na lang nila, alam niyo kung sino? Yung insecure na si Rapi Tulfo. Insecure yun ng mga Duterte. Tingnan mo yung ginawa ni Rapi Tulfo, di ba? Insecure yun ni Duterte. Kasi, sinabihan pa niya, kung may ebidensya na matanda na siya at bla bla bla, may sakit siya bla bla, utot mo. Rason ka pa ng mag-reason out ka pa ng ganyan na matanda na siya na kung may ebidensya. Hindi mo ba nakikita? Kami nakikita namin lahat. Ito naman si Rapi Tulfo. Insecure kasi siya kasi nung una, nag-number 1 siya sa survey na sa 2028, no? Na magiging pangulo ng bansa. Number 1 siya. Hanggang sa kanyang mga pinanggagawa dyan sa Senado, wala na, bumagsak. Si BP Sara talaga yung number 1. Akala niya siguro, nung nag-number 1 siya, akala niya siguro yun, legit yun. Alam niyo naman yung mga survey na yan, sometimes ginagawa nila yan for, para ma-insecure. Kasi insecure sila sa mga Duterte. Kahit anong anggulo natin pag-uusapan, Duterte naman talaga lahat ng mga Pilipino. Mga dilaw lang yung mga loyalista na mga keyboard warriors dyan, akala mo. Tingnan nyo 2028. Kapag hindi lang nila tatrabahuin itong si BP Sara sa kanilang impeachment, BP Sara talaga mananalo sa 2028. Babalik ang mga Duterte. Ngayon, itong si Rapi Tulfo, siguro insecure siya na hindi na siya number 1 sa survey. Diba? Ayan siya tuloy. May insecurity rin ito. Baka plano siguro ng administrasyong ito na si Rapi Tulfo ang gawin nilang manok o pambato sa 2028. Boo! Wala na, talo na kayo. Ito, panoorin natin itong media interview nitong si Kiko Barzaga, Congressman Kiko Barzaga, patungkol po dito sa ethics complaints laban sa kanya. Okay? Kasi alam niyo naman yung galawan ni Kiko dyan. Prangka yan ha, prangka. Sa pagiging prangka niya, pinagtripan na naman siya ng mga kalaban. Ito, panoorin natin. Kiko Barzaga, pasok!
Well, we're hoping for the best, but alam mo naman, mas madaming congressman ang kalaban ko doon kaysa yung mga kampi ko. And we're just hoping for the best. We prepared our legal defense, and ano pa ba? Yun lang. It's my first hearing in the ethics committee, and I don't really know the process there, but I'll learn as time goes on. Magiging? Depende sa magiging complaints nila because I've heard they had multiple complaints. So we will just prepare our legal defense depending on what they will throw at us. I mean, wala namang patas dito sa Pilipinas. We already know how the legal system works, and I think
Prangka ka. Prangka ka agad. Sa tingin mo ba, patas yun? Wala namang patas dito sa Pilipinas. Totoo eh. Tumpak yung sagot eh.
That how the ethics committee will handle it is similar to how the legal system works here, which is that those who control more power or more wealth are those who it would likely favor.
Correct.
Ha? Yes, kahit nung decision tatanggapin ko, and hopefully, actually, I'd like to invite all of you inside also para mapanood nyo, para makita ng media kung to see how this will go, because this is probably one of the
Ako
first.
duda ko rito, no? Matatalo siya dito sa may kutob ako, sana naman hindi, no? Matatalo siya dito sa ethics complaint. Kasi pagtitripan siya ng administrasyon eh.
Ethics committee complaints here in the House of Representatives of the 20th Congress. So I'd like the people to also see, the general public to also see how the process goes.
Bawal po kami na.
Ba't kayo bawal sa loob? Hindi, kasi sa mga ibang committees naman pwede kayo, di ba? During other committee hearings, especially if it's related to the budget, this is a public issue, so I think papayagan naman kayo.
Sana po.
Or I'll personally request them to allow the media inside, para at least maging open at para makita ng mga tao, since this is a very trending topic right now and it's an important national issue too. So hopefully the committee chairman will allow the media to go inside. Okay? Ha? Okay lang. Medyo na-late lang ng konti.
Congress, change topic. Ano po, kamusahin po namin yung nangyari kahapon na protesta? Ano pong update?
Very good. Tapos kami mga almost 12 na. So ngayon medyo kulang pa ako sa tulog, but it went well. So wala akong masyadong ginawa doon. They just informed me about the conciliation or the mediation that they have a subcommittee for it. And kung pwede ito i-settle outside of the ethics committee, then maybe that might be the option. Pero ako, I wish for the case to proceed.
What was your defense? Ano yung depensa mo sa mga allegation sa ethics complaint?
Tapos na yung complaint sa akin nung nakarating ako kasi na-late ako ng a few minutes.
So you won't settle outside the ethics committee?
I prefer not to settle because I want to try to have a hearing and to try to make my defense there kasi mas maganda talaga if we can all air our grievances out and to talk about it.
Are you ready to face any sanction? For the case against you and for the case you filed against
Yes,
the
for both.
for both. Are you ready to face any sanction if ever there will be any?
I mean, I'm ready for anything. I fully intend. When it all started, when I fought against Romualdez, I fully intended it. I was fully expecting to die, but like, kung sanctions lang naman, edi, that's much better than dying.
Suspension is okay with you?
Yeah, suspension,
Matapang talaga to.
removal, imprisonment, like, those are all possible. But that's fine. Yeah.
They have grounds to do that.
Well, they can make grounds, and that's the problem with our legal system here. When you are wealthy and when you have wealthy people backing you, you have the ability to create your own justice.
But you
Correct.
don't think you violated anything from the code of conduct? No?
Well, I wouldn't be defending myself in that.
Marami nang nagsasabi niyan, Kiko Barzaga, na ang justice system dito sa Pilipinas ay malaking joke. Bakit nasasabing joke? Kasi kung ikaw, if you have the power, presidente ka ng Pilipinas, wala na. Lahat siguro, tingnan nyo yung kay Boying Rimulya, yung kanyang anak, di ba? Yung issue patungkol sa kanyang anak, di ba? Nakalabas ka agad. Wala na, di ba? Pero ikaw, tingnan nyo ha, kung magnanakaw ka ng sardinas, magnanakaw ka ng bigas doon, di ba? Yung merong mga balita na nagnakaw ng sardinas, nagnakaw ng bigas, nahuli ng pulis, kulong ka agad. Nakukulong ka agad. Magkano yung sardinas? Mga nasa 20 pesos. Yung bigas na 5 kilos. 5 kilos yung ninakaw Kano yun? Mga 300, 400. Pero yung nagnakaw ng bilyon-bilyong peso sa kaba ng bayan, hanggang ngayon, pinoprotektahan pa. Hanggang ngayon, wala pa nahuli. Hindi nga nakansila yung mga passport. May mga nagnanakaw ngayon, nagsiservisyo pa. Buhay na buhay pa, wala sa kulungan. Pero yung nagnakaw ng sardinas at yung bigas, wala, nasa kulungan na. Ganyan ang hustisya sa Pilipinas. Yan ang sabi nila, yan ang sabi nila.
I violated anything there.
So you mentioned something about if you can settle na lang the thing with, I think, the other party outside of the ethics. Ano po, can you elaborate lang?
No, they have a subcommittee where they will settle.
Duda ako rito, talagang tatrabahuin ito Talagang matatalo siya dito sa ethics complaint ito
rather than handling the ethics complaint within the committee. But I would prefer not to settle it.
And you said that on record.
Ito, opinion ko lang yan Naduda kung matalo siya diyan. Ako, opinion ko lang yan. Kasi wala siya kalaban-laban. Yun ang aking analysis Pero yung kalaban niya dito, malakas sa administrasyon.
During the hearing?
No, my hearing was already over by the time I arrived.
Okay.
But I believe my legal team has stated that for me.
So you were not able to speak during the hearing, sir?
I wasn't there. I couldn't have spoken.
But why were you late, sir? Why were you late?
We were very busy last night.
About, sorry.
No, I was just playing games on my computer.
That's why you were late po. And
Yes.
you weren't able to attend your ethics.
Yes.
Sir.
Okay, thank you. I would also like to state Chairman Abalos of the Ethics Committee that next time I hope he would allow the media to go inside because for the sake of public transparency, plenty of committee hearings, especially those relating to budgets or national issues or to important policies, they allow the media to go inside so that the general public may be aware of what's happening in our Congress. And I hope that Chairman
Abalos's decision. I think it's the rules because it's
The Rules Committee.
the ethics committee, so it's not like a regular
Yes.
hearing that's live streamed. So it's not Kong Abalos that should decide that. I think
it's the
isn't
Rules
it in the
Committee.
rules?
Well, who's in the Rules Committee now? Who's the chairman? Okay,
No,
okay.
it's in the House rules.
The House rules.
Yes.
Yes. Well, then we'll revise the House rules.
It was never done in past cases.
Yes.
Even Kong Arnie Tevez' case and
But-
other
Yeah.
cases.
But plenty of things have never been done, and there are plenty of things that must be done that are not done. So if we see an injustice and we see something that's not correct, then we will try to fix it. And
So you will propose amendments
yes,
to the
I will.
House rules?
I'll propose amendments to the House rules so that we may fix such problems. Even for the Tevez case, he didn't really face the ethics committee since he was removed immediately by a vote of Congress during that time. But hopefully, for any further future ethics committee cases, I believe that's something that the general public has the right to know about, since it is something that exists. It's something that relates to a matter of a representative that they have voted for. So any ethics complaint regarding representatives that they have voted for must be something that they are also given knowledge of. Okay, thank you.
Ito naman si
Actually, hindi napunta sa basis of the complaint. Ang nangyari, the committee decided to organize a committee on reconciliation. No? Not just for this case, but for all cases involving congressmen as complainant and as respondent. So dahil this falls into that category, siguro they will include this under the jurisdiction of the Subcommittee on Reconciliation. So yun. So dahil nag-create ng committee, then they passed on this case to the committee. I guess there will first be an effort to reconcile, no? So nandun sila. Pinangunahan ko na sila. Sinabi ko, there is no reconciliation because this is not a personal grievance. Hindi naman sa akin ang insulto. Ang insulto is to the institution. So, yun. I don't know when the subcommittee will take cognizance of this, but I have put everybody on notice that this is not a personal grievance on my part. So, there is no reconciliation that is necessary.
Wait. Wala raw personal grievance. Okay, yun ang opinion mo. Pero hindi kami maniniwala dyan eh.
Or even possible, no?
Sir,
Ano kayo? Para kayong ano? Parang bothered kayo sa mga ginagawa ngayon ni Kiko Barzaga. Kasi kinakampihan siya ng taong bayan eh.
Given that, magkakaroon pa rin ng day when you and Kong Barzaga will face each other in the subcom, the reconciliation subcom.
Well, not in the subcommittee kasi I'm not willing to I'm going to decline the process of reconciliation because again, as I said, it is not a personal grievance, no. So he has done damage and injury to the house as an institution, not to me personally. So no, I don't think I will. I will definitely decline the reconciliation. And I know the other complainants will do that as well.
So sir, the next step is what?
After the subcommittee will report back to the committee that there was no reconciliation possible, then they will have to go into the merits of the complaint, which is what I wanted them sana to do today, but you know, I guess it will take a little bit more time.
so mukhang nagbalik pa ulit, sir, o magkakaroon ba tayo ng mga special
Parang pagbalik ng rinig ko kanina eh. So, and anyway, I think since they have already prior notice from me that we are going to decline the invitation for reconciliation anyway, sana ituloy na nila sa merits of the case, no? But because we are going on recess, I guess there will be another delay. Sayang because I wanted all of these things to be aired already, no? Para maintindihan ng lahat. I was telling the Ethics Committee, we filed this complaint because we want standards of behavior to be established in Congress, no? Like, okay ba maglagay sa website namin ng mga malalaswang litrato? Okay ba insultuhin namin yung kababaihan? Okay ba sabihin namin sa mga kabataan na pag mag-congressman na kayo, para yumaman kayo? Tama ba yun? So if this is something that is acceptable behavior for a congressman...
Hindi, na ano lang kayo, na real talk lang kayo. Yung mga babae naman na mga pictures ni Kiko Barzaga, mga ano yun eh, past pictures niya yun sa mga, ano yung mga show ba? Anong tawag ng mga show na yan? Yung mga nagsushow bitaw na mag-attire ka ng mga characters ng ano, mga anime. Tapos nagpa-picture siya doon si Kiko Barzaga. Tapos yun ang ginamit na pang ano niya, pang para ma-ethics complaint siya. Eh, hindi pa naman siya congressman at that time. Di ba? Di umano ha. Yan sabi nila.
I want the Ethics Committee to rule on it, no? Because ako tingin ko that is definitely should be not prohibited, di ba? Should be prohibited.
Yung mga pinagsasabi naman ni Kiko Barzaga, na real talk lang sila, no? Yung mga yung ine-expose na talagang walang prenong sinabi ni Kiko Barzaga na yung mga gobyerno, sistemang bulok na ganun, ganyan. Mga kawatan sa mga kongreso, ganun, ganyan. Na-real talk sila doon eh.
Sir Kong Barzaga in an interview earlier said, first, he's not open to reconciliation also. And second, he believes he did not do anything wrong. Your reaction?
Well, we should remind him about the standards of human behavior, no? He does not believe he did anything wrong because obviously his standards are much lower than the average person. So I think maybe he should be given a lesson by the Ethics Committee that kind of behavior is not desirable, it is not acceptable, especially if you are a member of the House of
Hindi ka talaga makaka-accept kapag natatamaan ka.
Representatives.
You mentioned human behavior, but aren't members of the House of Representatives set to a higher standard?
Yes, absolutely. he actually answered our complaint. No, his lawyer answered our complaint, and we made a reply to his reply because they were citing, freedom of expression and all of those things. No, and we said no, we are not filing this complaint because he has committed any crime. We are filing this complaint because he has violated the rules of the House. So yeah, the standards of behavior of a congressman are higher than an average person, no? Because you carry responsibility, you represent your district, you're supposed to be, giving value to the trust that was given you by your constituents. Now, to engage in that kind of behavior that he has displayed is definitely contrary to what the rules of the House say.
Sir, what sanctions do you think? What sanctions do you think that should carry?
Well, I don't know. I believe that up to the committee, no? Of course, they have a wide range of sanctions from reprimand to suspension to even expulsion. But I'm not really interested in the sanction as much as the establishment of standards. Kasi kung gayahin siya ng mga 10 congressmen at puro ganun ang ginawa sa mga Facebook nila, kawawa naman ang institusyon, di ba? Mabababoy na talaga. So, dapat pangaralan yan kung hindi tama yung ginagawa niya.
Sir, just for the record, who are the other complainants as of now? At saka nandiyan ba sila kanina?
Most of the complainants were there. There are 29, mostly from my party, NUP. But yeah, they are all, of course, knowledgeable about what's going on.
And all are in disagreement na mag-reconciliate?
Of course, yes. Oh.
Sir, satisfied po, sa budget lang po, satisfied po ba kayo dun sa naipasang second reading na version ng budget?
Yes, actually, our party will vote for the approval of today's today's third reading of the budget. I think many of the problems that we saw during the process have been addressed. I think that this budget is going to conform to the objectives of the President and the sensibilities of our people. No, I think the way it was discussed, the way it was presented, and everything else, I think merits the acceptance, no, of the public because everything was open. There have been no secret discussions. There are no secret provisions. I think everything is on the up and up. So I would assure everybody that this budget was properly considered. It's a good budget. It defends itself against abuse. And I think that it will be good for the country. So hopefully we will get past this issue already.
Sir, sorry po, pwede po kayo ng reaction kasi yung Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, parang gusto po nila mag-investigate na rin po patungkol sa mga farm-to-market roads. Ang tinuturo po kasi nila, malaki po yung napuntang pondo sa Bicol and Eastern Visayas considering hindi naman daw po rice-producing area.
Well, you will remember, ako yung naunang bumanggit ng farm-to-market roads, hindi ba? Na medyo ikinagalit ng ibang mga opisyal na who felt, I guess, that we were intruding on their territory. But yeah, we were the first ones to say na meron mga abuses in the farm-to-market roads program. Now, with respect to what was said today, in the newspapers, particularly in one newspaper, I think that una-una, these were not very big projects, no. Number two, I think that these things came about because of the DPWH and Department of Agriculture, and it even passed the initial scrutiny of the Secretary of Department of Agriculture. Kasi kung maalala ninyo, nagbanggit siya ng mga ghost projects, wala ito doon. Nagbanggit siya ng mga substandard, wala pa rin ito doon. So I don't know where that report came from about the Leyte farm-to-market roads. And by the way, farm-to-market roads does not only mean rice. Okay? It means farm. So kung ano man ang mga agriculture produce in the place, it merits and it deserves a farm-to-market road. But I think malungkot ang timing, kasi the former speaker is going to speak before the independent commission tomorrow. So parang may konting demolition na nangyayari dito, Parang gustong I think there is scapegoating that is going on no, nagtuturuan, and then people are pointing to other people so that they will be able to escape the responsibility. Ang sa akin lang, follow the money. Di ba? Ano yung nangyari sa insertion? Sino may kagagawa nun? Pagtapos nun, kanino napunta yun? Alright? So there's all of these distractions that are being created, and I'm sensing a lynch mob mentality trying to pin the speaker alone, no, to all of the things that have happened, which is terribly unfair, no? And I think that these kinds of demolition and negative propaganda should be evaluated by the public in the right way, di ba? Kasi isipin niyo, ma-front page ka, the publication that came out is of course one of my main reading material every day, no? But normally, kung meron mga ganyan, lalabas ka sa front page, you will be asked for a reply or to comment. I did not see that there was any request from the accused party to reply, no? And number two, you could even have asked the people that are directly involved with it, the district engineer, the provincial agriculturist. Nobody bothered to ask them. So humabol pa sila ng mga statements nila justifying the projects. Di ba? But now, hindi na. Nakalat na yan na there is something wrong, even when all the people involved in these things are now saying that there was nothing wrong with these projects. So, sana in the coming weeks, no, months, sana we will be very careful about what we accept as news, no? When there is an allegation, let us make sure that this is properly based on real facts, not opinion. Kasi ang nangyayari ngayon, opinion is being presented as fact. And I think that is unfair to so many people. There will be very many high-level people involved, no, in the things that are going to come. So I think everybody should look at the evidence very carefully and be aware that there is, scapegoating going on. Na maraming mga efforts na sisihin yung mga tao na walang kamalay-malay, no? So again, tignan natin, ano yung mga insertions, saan napunta yan, at sinong may kasalanan yan, no? And instead of, diverting it into whatever thing that they can come up with to try to smear somebody.
Sir, clarification, when you said trying to pin down the speaker alone, you were referring to the former speaker of what?
Yes, well, that is what the headline kasi mentioned, no? And I don't know if he was asked to comment on it, probably not. And I don't know if any of the actual people involved in those projects were asked, no? And apparently not. And these charges have not come up anywhere, no? So ang lungkot naman na timing pa yan. The day before the former speaker is supposed to face the independent commission, lalabas something like that, no? But again, it's good because we know that it was something that was intended, I guess, no, to put the former speaker in a bad light. Sana people go into the facts of that case, and I think they, I have seen some of the replies of the people involved, and sa nakikita ko, mukhang wala namang problema sa projects na yon. And everybody is free, of course, to go there and investigate. Which is, I think, something that we all should do. No? I mean, every time there's an allegation like that, tignan natin kung totoo. Di ba?
Pero hindi naman po kayo doubtful sa ICI. Kasi hindi naman po lang si former speaker yung pinatawag doon, Senate President.
Yeah. No, I think the ICI is doing a good job. I think they are able to separate fact from fiction. I think that they are working very hard to make sure that things like this do not happen again. So, no, buo yung tiwala natin siyempre sa ICI. Pero siyempre, meron silang mga iniimbita na baka makasuhan din na gagawa ng paraan para matutok yung mga problema sa ibang tao at hindi sa kanila. Okay? Sige, thank you.
Okay, yun po yung media interview ni patungkol dyan sa Kiko Barzaga sa kanyang ethics complaint. Now, mag-comment, mag-react po kayo doon sa mga pinag-usapan natin. Ito naman, tama naman yung sinabi niya na nagtuturuan na yung mga sangkot para malihis, para hindi sila matukoy na sila yung may kasalanan. ang malaking question ngayon, hanggang ngayon wala pang nakukulong. Dami yung mga sinasabi na isugpo natin ito mga corrupt ngayon, bla bla bla. We are for the people. Ang isinisigaw ng tao ay ayaw na namin sa korupsyon, dapat may mananagot. Yung gobyernong Marcos naman, administrasyon, dapat may mananagot talaga. Tama yan, may mananagot. Hanggang ngayon, si Zaldico at si Martin Romualdez, na sila yung susi para malaman natin kung ano talagang nangyari, hindi pa sumisipot. Nasaan na sila? Sila yung pinakasusi dito na masagot kung ano ba talagang nangyari, di ba? Hindi natin pinagbibintangan, pero sino ba ang nakukulong ngayon? Wala pa. Kaya usap-usap tayo sa comment section, okay? Don't forget i-like at saka i-share itong video na ito para kakalat sa taong bayan. And sa mga first time lang dito nanood sa Donmar TV, paki-subscribe. Libre lang ang mag-subscribe, walang bayad yan. Updated ka pa sa ating mga balita. Okay? See you in my next video. Have a great day. Have a great night. God bless po sa ating lahat. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas and God save the Philippines. Bye-bye.